Hi again. In the previous episode, we began working on the UI. In this episode, we will continue with the improvements and finish the work. Let's continue with the PowerUp Slider. Open the UI prefab. Then expand the PowerUp Slider. Let's start by creating a new UI image as a child of the slider game object. Name the image as Slider BG and change the source image to PowerUp Sprite. Adjust its size according to the dimensions. Oops, it's quite big. Change the scale on X and Y to 0.5. That's better. We need to move it down though. Select the parent game object and change its position on Y to -115. Next, we will set up the bar and its background. Select the background game object and change its color to dark green. Inside of the fill area, there is a game object called fill. Select it and change its color to bright green. Now we need to position the PowerUp sprite on top of the bar. Select Slider BG and change its position on Y to 20. In UI hierarchy, the objects at the bottom will be drawn on top of those at the top. Our Slider BG is the lowest in the PowerUp Sliders hierarchy, so it is drawn on top of everything. We want that the handle is drawn on top of it though. Drag the Slider BG above the handle. Nice! Now the handle is on top of the slider graphics, but the bar stays behind it. Select the handle game object and change the source image to handle sprite. Adjust its scale on X to 1.4 and on Y to 0.85. Nice! Now the handle looks good. However, the slider bar is not wide enough. It's easy to fix. Select the parent game object and change the width to 220. Now the whole PowerUp slider looks good. Enter play mode to test it in action. It works well. The last thing to do is to change our score and high score texts. We will create a new kind of text element which is called Text Mesh Pro. It gives us more tools to edit appearance of the text. Next, remove the old score texts. And then right-click on Hierarchy and select UI, Text, Text Mesh Pro. A TMP importer window should pop up. Click on Import TMP Essentials. When it's done, close the window. Next, rename the text as Score Text and anchor it on the top left corner. If you can't see the text, click on some other game object in the hierarchy and then select the text again. Write score 0 on the text field. Then change the position on X to 25 and on Y to -25. Still, it looks like normal text. Let's start to edit the style more. Click on the B button on Font Style and change the size to 50. Then adjust the width to 400 and height to 80 so that there is enough space if the player gets a huge score. When you're done, scroll down on the inspector. There are the material settings for this font. Change the face color to something you like and dilate to 1. When it's done, enable the outline and change its color to white. Then adjust the thickness to 0.6. Great! Now the score text looks similar to the rest of the UI. Next, it's HighScore's turn. Duplicate the score text and rename it as HighScore text. Anchor it on the top right corner and change the position on X and Y to -25. Then write HighScore 0 to text field. We need to adjust its width to 700 to give the text more space. After that, change the alignment to right. Finally, we could change its color. But if we change the face color, also the score text will be changed. This happens because both of them use the same material. We need to create a new material for HighScore. Click on the Font Asset field and Unity will locate the font file in the project view. Expand the Liberation Sans SDF. There is the current material in use. Duplicate it and add the word green to its name. Then select the HighScore again and change the material to the duplicated one. Now we can change the face color without influencing the score text. Alright, the texts are done now. Last thing to do is to update the code. Open the UI controller script. First, we need to add a new namespace for TextMesh Pro. Write using TM Pro. Then we can just change the variable's type from text to TextMesh Pro UGUI. That's it! Save the script and return to Unity. Select the UI and drag the text to the correct variable slots. Then apply the changes to the prefab and enter play mode. Great job! Now all of the UI is updated with better graphics. In the next episode, we will take a look at the rest of the graphical assets and use them with the old ones to make our levels look more interesting. Remember to save the scene. See you later!